Hey everyone, I'm Sundarishwar.
And I am Sridhar.
Hi, my name is Vijaya.
So today we have Vijaya and Shashi with us, and we'll discuss about how opportunities are being provided to conduct workshops and help them building up the leadership skills, management, and communication skills. So by the end of this video, I'm sure that you will know so much knowledge about regarding leadership, management, and communication. That's what I said. So let's just start without any further ado. So first question to Vijaya is. First of all, did you conduct any workshop recently as a part of this community?
Yes, my latest workshop was on deep learning using Keras and TensorFlow and making that code in Azure Notebooks.
Okay.
So I am actually yeah, I actually research a bit of deep learning. So I am more of the AI, I'm more in the AI community. But my first workshop was back in November 2019 when I was starting out as a Microsoft Learn Student Ambassador. It was for a global call which we had under the MS Inspire banner. And in that session, I gave a brief introduction to what deep learning is, how it's actually dominating other fields of machine learning, how it's actually changing our day-to-day lives and in its various other applications. So I enjoyed taking that session. It was mostly a lecture kind of session. So it was actually really fun to take it. Since after the event, I actually got people messaging me saying that hi Vijay, I loved your session because you actually taught us something new. So I was kind of happy in taking up that session.
So, as you have conducted an event, so how was your experience and how easy or hard it was to conduct an event in this community?
So in this community, I actually found that organizing events is actually quite smooth and very easy. The reason being that when you're under this program, right? So you have so many people willing to help you. There are so many people who want to help you design the poster. They want to help you give you the platform. They want to help you basically coach you in like how you should deliver your session. And there are so many other helpful things that they actually conduct, and they're always there in your session, like willing to support you at any time. So if you just see, if you while you're conducting the session, they're often encouraging you, like please go on. It's an amazing session. So it's actually quite heartwarming to see that. So yes, overall the experience is actually quite easy, I would say, simply because there are so many people who are willing to help you during the session, before the session, after the session.
Okay. So you are saying that many people are willing to help in this community. So is it difficult to reach to them, or is it just fine? You need to. What's the process for getting help from in
So
this community?
so there are so many people who want to help you. I think the hardest part, I would say, is is actually just reaching out. That's the most hardest part. That's the only barrier. Anybody wants to help you. If you just go on Teams and it's like, hey guys, I want help in making a poster for this event, in like almost 5 minutes you'll get like at least 20 replies like, hey, I can help out, do you want this, I can help you make it this. So I think the hardest part in like conducting, like organizing all your resources is one thing, so I think the I would say the two hard parts. One is actually reaching out to people. The moment you cross that barrier, you're almost set with your session, I would say. And the second one is, of course, this is actually a test for you. It's a test for your leadership capability. You basically organizing the event and okay, I have this poster ready, I have this speech ready, I have the resources ready, I have my code ready. That's on you. But again, with so much help around, it's actually quite easy in making the resources, distributing the resources, and then showcasing your work on a platform.
Uh, while organizing an event, we'll be having so many queries that too we need to communicate with other people and regarding certification. So if you had any queries like any issues so did someone show up every time or you faced an issue something like that?
So in terms of certificates and all, right, if you go on the MS, the in the channels, right, you'll have that help section, right? Almost instantly you get a reply and multiple resources for like helping you out. So I would say I really had, in my experience at least, I barely had an issue with conducting events. I think the only difficulty that you would have is finding the right time slot for hosting your event, because you want to make it available to everybody, but at the same time, because of the time zone issues all over the world, it's kind of like hard to get it at the right time for everybody. But apart from that, I haven't faced much issues in in like showing up that much. It's mostly it's the hardest things, of course, I would say, again I'm repeating it, is you actually reaching out, and second is, which is actually kind of unavoidable, the time zone issue, I would say.
Cool. So, by the way, guys, the events that she was mentioning in the start about deep learning and everything is in the same channel, MS Inspire. If you go down to the roots of the channel, you may find those gems hidden below in the channel. Okay, so switching it up. Well, like you are a good speaker, I would say. So there might be some students who may think that, okay, I might need help in some speaking or a speaking engagement. So if a person wants to conduct a workshop but he or she is not good with teaching yet, I would say, if he's shy or anything, what would you suggest them, like if they want someone else to help with him in the speaking engagement, everything?
This is actually a very good question, Sundareshwar. Right now you might be thinking, oh man, Vijay is such a confident speaker. Guess what? Just 5 years ago, I could barely stand on stage. I had such bad stage fright, and I do have a bit of a stuttering thing. But compared to now, it was much worse. I couldn't even say a single sentence without at least stuttering two or three syllables in that entire sentence. So like just 5 years ago, I was a massive nervous wreck. I could barely talk to anybody. Even when I used to go down to the supermarket and ask for milk, I used to be like, uncle, can I get some milk, please? So yeah, I was very nervous. I was very shy. I was almost asocial in the sense. So actually, this is quite a normal thing to have. Okay, so honestly, in this day and age of having social media accounts and everything, stage fright, the fear of appearing on screen, and now it's very normal. It's even 5 years ago, I was like, oh man, I'm going to be a nervous wreck for the entirety of my life. But it slowly changed. So one thing, the first step, of course, is trying to open up to other people. So I think that's the hardest part, I would say. But the moment you take that step, everything becomes easy. So anytime, so when I teach deep learning content, even I was a beginner in the first. You see, you can know how to code even the most complicated algorithm, but it does take practice and learning how to teach, I would say. It's not easy to teach. I will agree, but it comes slowly with experience. So you might have already so in school you might have helped your friend solve a math problem. From there itself, you can start building up the experience to teach or even take a session. So definitely, if a person wants to conduct a session and who's has a very good ideas he wants to show to the world on any platform, whether it's YouTube, Teams, or even a Medium article, definitely there are so many people in our community that actually want to help them. So even now, at the time of this recording, we're actually hosting an AI gaming event, and I'm one of the organizers. So there is one new MSP who wants to also take the event with me. I am more than happy. I think today or tomorrow I'll be helping her coach her through the steps and all. So one thing, so definitely it's all about practice, I would say. The most important thing is that if you want to deliver an event, it's mostly practice, it's mostly rehearsal, and 90% of the time the audience doesn't have any malicious thoughts against you. So one common thing that people think is that, oh my god, if I say something wrong on the internet, I'll be forever shamed for it. There is a bit of truth to the statement, but eventually, no, you will get through that irrational fear. Most of your attendees want to learn something and they're willing to listen to you, and that's why they're there in the session in the first place. They're not there to ridicule you. They want to help, they want to learn from you, and that's why they're attending the session. So definitely, if anybody wants help in learning how to deliver the event, they can approach any one of the people who already taken the events. I'm sure that if you approach anybody who has taken an event, they will not say no to helping you, deliver the event. They will definitely teach you on how to give a speech. They'll teach you on how to open up OBS or Camtasia or any other recording software and teach you how to record an event. Then teach you how to code, how to do live coding, and they'll teach you how to how you should distribute the resources. So definitely, anytime you want to learn something in delivering an event, don't feel shy. please approach somebody, and 99.9999% of the time they will definitely say yes. Unless they're busy in a different event, they'll 109% say yes, because this community is built upon helping others.
Like at some cases what happens is people don't want to speak, or they get busy with the work and they aren't ready for the workshop. So if they need some speaker, so how will the community help them in getting a speaker for their workshop? So if they want to conduct a workshop in the field which they are not good at, but they want to help people learn it, so they need some speaker. So what do you tell them, like?
So first case is that you already know that, okay, suppose I want to conduct a quantum computing session. So we have another MSP called Farhan. He's from Bangalore. So he's really good in quantum computing. Okay, so I know that he's good in quantum computing. In the first case, in which you actually know the person and he's good at something, you can approach him like, hey dude, I think I have a great idea for this session. If you're free, can you do you want to help me organize this event and you be the speaker? So in that case, it's kind of easy because you know the person directly and you can just approach them like, hey dude, I have a great idea. So do you want to collaborate? So that's the first case. The second case is when you have an idea and you don't know anybody in the community who knows that. So one good way to know. Let's take an example. Okay. So in my case, AI. Okay. So we have deep learning. Okay. So on Teams, in this community, right, you have so many channels. Okay. In fact, you have to go to the ellipses, and if you need to go to the ellipses or the more section, right, you'll see even more channels listed. So I think this community has a channel for every field almost in computer science and even beyond computer science as well. So for the first step that you can take is go to the community, go to the preferred channel. So in my case, it's actually deep learning, but it's actually under AI. It's under the umbrella term AI, and from there, in that channel, you can start typing like, "Hey dudes, I have a good idea in organizing an event. So this is going to be the title. Do you want to help me host the event?" So that is one way. So you have your teams-based community. The second is, of course, I'm sure that if you're a Microsoft Learn student partner, you will have multiple LinkedIn connections as well. So through those connections also, you can discover people who are very talented, and many of them do want to help spread their ideas. So they're more than willing to help you in conducting that session. And of course, the third case is a bit more generalized. So suppose you know nobody. Let's just say. So you have an idea that you don't know somebody who's good at it, and the second is that it's in a field that's very niche, that is very hard to find people who like it. So you can just simply type on any of your social media accounts like, hey guys, I have a great idea for this event. Do you want to collaborate on this event? Simple as that. So honestly, in these cases, right, social media is quite helpful because you can actually find people very fast who are actually talented in X domain and who can do a Y thing.
Good. So social media does help you guys. So there are all positive and negatives for it. So people have a dilemma that workshops. What shall I gain of doing a workshop? So I would just ask this type of question like, does conducting these workshops help the guy who's conducting this in building up personal skills like leadership, management, and communication?
Oh, definitely. So of course, as I said, coming back to the previous question you asked me, like I said, no, I was a bit of a nervous wreck back like 5 years ago. So how did I become a bit more confident? It's by conducting events. So I think in BITS Planning Dubai campus where I studied, I just graduated recently. So from there I started taking events even for AI and all. From there it's slow. So after 12th grade I wasn't that confident as confident. So from BITS I started taking events constantly and gradually. So with that, so while you take events, you learn very important communication skills. So even if you can't answer a question, you eventually, suppose in your first session you're unable to answer any of the questions the attendees ask you, it's fine. In the second session, you gain that experience. It's like a cumulative. So the experience is cumulative. It's not like one day down and second day down. It's cumulative. It keeps gradually building up. So by the third or fourth sessions, I was able to answer all of my attendees' questions because I I took their questions. I didn't throw it away. I took the questions. I went home, researched on those questions, built up my own knowledge from those answers, and then I carried that knowledge with me to the next session. So definitely in terms of communication skills, it does teach you a lot on how you should talk to people in formal settings as well as informal settings. In terms of knowledge, it does improve your knowledge because by taking these events and from the attendees' questions, you learn things that you actually don't know. So it's nothing bad. Like listen, you're a human being. You're not some supercomputer, okay? So you are not expected to know everything at the same time. So same thing. There's this great common joke in software development that oh man, software developers are paid $100K for googling stuff. But yeah, see, they are paid for the intuition and making those applications. But again, even to find, but it's not necessary to remember a print statement for that application. You can just be like, okay, I'll search it up in documentation later. So yeah, so by taking these events, number one, you gain the communication experience. Number two, it definitely improves your knowledge. And number three, of course, it definitely does improve your leadership because you are hosting the sessions and you're trying to empower other people. So by giving them the knowledge, especially in nowadays, right? Of course, school doesn't teach us everything that we need to know, and of course, even college courses are very limited in what they can teach, or else it'll be too spanned out, I would say. So definitely, by taking these sessions, you actually help other people. So I've learned many of my software development skills from YouTube. Like there's some free videos, not even not even paid courses. So yes, so as a leader, it's your duty to actually help other people and bring them up. And I think that these sessions do improve your leadership capabilities. And they also teach you teamwork, especially. One more important thing is teamwork, because if you have a event like AI gaming or some other global call, you will have one person doing the Kahoot, one person helping the chat, one person actually presenting, and another person doing the social media. So it's all working in an almost well greased machine, basically.
So yeah, we got to know a lot of things and lot of information, lot of suggestions, and also if we would like to know the first event you have conducted in this community right from the start. I mean, you have got the idea to conduct the workshop till the end, you have finished the event and got some feedback. So how did it go and how was your experience and all?
So I joined last year in September 2019. So it was my first time being in an actual tech community, because till then I was kind of a bit passive with my I was mostly focused on my studies and research. So fourth year, let me just try building up some more a better community around me. So I was I applied for the program and I got in. I was happy about it. So first 2 months I was actually kind of busy with with those alpha beta the milestones. I was reading a bit more on Azure, and I was learning how to use Azure and all. So I think around October, when the global call idea was held, I applied and I actually and I talked with Salman and hey guys, I have an idea for this event, so can I help? And he was oh definitely, dude. Tell me what you want to do, and I'll put a slot and put a slot for you. So yes, so you have people who want to conduct events. They want to have speakers. They want you to participate in the community. They want you to actually express that knowledge out in the world. So definitely that's there. So I was towards the end, I believe, for the session, if I recall correctly. So I was more than happy, and so doing the event right, I use Azure Notebook, so it was quite an easy setup for me. But I had the chat open in separate window as well. So I saw there was so much encouragement, there was so many good questions and everything and so forth. So so the pipeline was very smooth. So my first session was about as I mentioned before, I explained what deep learning was. How did deep learning come about from general machine learning? Why deep learning is so popular? Because of the presence of GPUs and more computing capability now. And what the advantages of deep learning or machine learning? And if I recall correctly, I was even talking about Microsoft's contributions to deep learning. For example, people from Microsoft like designed one of the very good deep learning architectures called ResNet, and so on and so forth, basically. So from start to end, it was very smooth for me because the entire community was supportive. They were always ready to give me whatever I wanted. Like if I was like, hey guys, can I get a poster for this, or can I have this thing in my session? There were hundreds of people just like, oh, definitely, no problem at all. I think even Sundareshwar, like for my future sessions, right, he was the main one who's designing the posters. So it was very helpful. Like, the moment I said, like, hey, I want to conduct this event, done, poster made. And I didn't even ask. Okay, I was like, hey dude, let's make posters. Even for the AI gaming one, which you'll be seeing shortly in, like, maybe on YouTube, maybe. I was like, hey dude, let's make posters. And then all of a sudden, done, bro. So you can just see how helpful people are, like, and everybody is doing it for one purpose, is to help each other. That's simple. There's no other ulterior motive, I would say, compared to many other things, like, many other, like, societies, I would say, like, communities in general. Everybody wants to help each other, like, get better at something, and there's always a person who wants to help you, and definitely, like, like 24/7 almost.
Okay, so yes, Shashi, you want to say?
Yeah, and I think like even if you want to conduct any workshop, we even have MLH local host who has partnered with Microsoft and GitHub. So you'll get a lot of help from those people. Like I have conducted a local host 12-hour hackathon,
Oh yeah,
and
definitely.
yeah, so they give you all the help. They present you the posters. They set up the what you call forms. Everything is done by them. You just have to gather the people, and you will also get these presentations, and they'll help you with people who can help you in learning those things so that you can teach it better. You can present it better way. You'll have a call from them, so they will also help you. Like you need to present it this way. So if you are not good with even community, and if you're not a part of this community, you can even go there, like you can conduct anytime. That's one of the coolest thing that Microsoft has.
Exactly,
That's
exactly. I even have I
And
even have a, I even have a couple of peers from my college who actually conduct events under MLH as well. They're very helpful. So you can see most tech companies, like, are very helpful. The main goal is, of course, to help you, and definitely, like, help you, like, uplift yourself in terms of, like, skills as well. So even in, for example, under this MS Inspire, right, and even under Microsoft, right, I've learned so much about Azure, its capabilities as a cloud infrastructure. So I've learned so much, and it's almost for free. Like, of course, the
yes,
the
that's what
exams
the
might the exams
coolest
might
thing.
be paid, but apart from that, the entire material for teaching was absolutely free.
Yes, and I just want, in the end, I just want to add one thing. Like, it's not only just the students or the ambassadors, I would say, in the help who help in the communities. It's also our program managers. Just a shout out to our program managers,
Oh,
Pablo,
definitely, they've been
CPMs
helpful
of
so many
Shopware.
times.
So
So
if I had any problem, I would just DM them, okay, hey, CPM, so I am doing this event, I have this problem. So they would just respond quickly and make sure that problem is solved at least by one day. So they are very
exactly.
helpful.
Shout out to the AI gaming team. They've constantly kept in contact with me. They've constantly, like, hey, do you have any doubts? Do you have any doubts? Please feel free to ask me. They're always free. Anytime we just miss them on Teams, if they're online, they'll reply to you, like, very quickly. They're more than happy in giving you all the resources that you need for conducting the event. They're like very helpful, I would say. In even, of course, even the CPMs are amazing. I had several doubts, yeah, when I was, like, beginning in the program, and the moment I typed a message, within a day or two, I would definitely get a reply, and they're so helpful, I would say.
Yes. So, well, we'll wrap this up. So, guys, so this was a short, I would say, a tutorial or session on how opportunities are being provided to conduct workshops and help them building up leadership, management, and communication skills. So, so actually this is a video which is a part of a tutorial playlist that we are creating, and the link of this playlist will be given in the description, and might be on your somewhere in here. So yes, so thanks for watching. And also one more thing, so the sessions, the virtual call, the deep learning sessions that Vijay was talking, I'll also try to put those in the description, and if you want, you can just go to the school channel and you can see many more sessions and many more such awesome speakers we have. Yes.
And one more thing, if you have any doubts regarding deep learning or machine learning or AI, like, or even just talking in general, like, if you just want to talk with me, I think Sundaresh will link my GitHub, my LinkedIn, and other social media platform, like, thingies. If you want to talk to me anytime, just drop me a DM. If I'm busy, I might be late in replying, but I'll definitely try to like reply to you for sure.
Great. So yes, thanks for tuning in, and just go to the playlist and you'll get to learn a lot of things. So yes, thanks for tuning and stay awesome, stay inspiring. Bye bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye.